US and Canadian Allied troops landed, German soldiers retreated from Paris, and Paris was liberated by August after 4 years of Nazi control. In January of 1945, with the Soviet army approaching, Nazi officials ordered the camp abandoned and sent an estimated 60,000 prisoners on a forced march to other locations. When the Soviets entered Auschwitz, they found thousands of emaciated detainees and piles of corpses left behind. World War II ended with the unconditional surrender of the Axis powers. On May 8, 1945, the Allies accepted Germany's surrender, which was about a week after Hitler took his own life. And Japan formally surrendered on September 2nd of 1945. So for many Americans, World War II was the defining event of the 20th century. It lasted 6 years, and it was a total war in which whole populations were mobilized, and some 50 million civilians and 20 million combatants died. The war engulfed 5 continents, it leveled cities, it reshaped societies, and it transformed international relations. Like the First World War, the Second World War had far-reaching effects. It shattered old world order and created a new international system, and nations such as France, Germany, Great Britain, and Japan were left devastated or impoverished. It's important to note that while there was a lot of sacrifice and misery suffered by Americans, the war was fought on other nations' turf. So Americans didn't have to deal with their cities being leveled and their civilian populations being decimated. Internationalism replaced isolationism as the dominant outlook, as most Americans acknowledged that the U.S. had profound responsibilities for global stability and security. So it had emerged from the war with the most powerful military in the world and the only nation with atomic weapons. The expansion of the federal government, spurred by the war effort, continued after 1945, and presidential authority also increased enormously at the expense of congressional and state power. The war also ended the Great Depression and launched a period of unprecedented prosperity and global economic domination. Big businesses grew into gigantic corporations as a result of huge government contracts for military weapons supplies. New technologies and products developed for military purposes, such as radar, computers, electronics, plastics and synthetics, jet engines, rockets, atomic energy. These transformed the private sector, as did new consumer products generated from war-related innovations. And the opportunities created by the war for women, as well as for Black Americans, Mexican Americans, and other marginalized populations, set in motion major social changes that would culminate in the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the feminist movement of the 1970s, gay liberation, and all of these things that we will talk about in the coming weeks. So let's end with this reflection question. While the U.S. sought to protect and spread democracy across the globe during World War II, how were they ignoring these principles in their own nation? I will see you next week.